Oh, man, it's already recording.
I want to put a beautiful background on. That's what I want to do. Here, I'm in the woods, you guys. Enjoy.
Who wants to start and explain what this is?
Matthew does.
Yeah, I'll start it. I mean, you're going to get some great point of view from everyone, but just from a technical storytelling, this tilted frame was an idea I had that improv and technology really had a lot in common. And back in 2002, I approached Heather O'Brien, who's an improv director, and we started working on this project. We did have no idea what we were doing. We really were like, you know, we got cameras and projectors, and improv seems to allow us to kind of play loosely with them. So let's see, we got some games to play with. So we had an initial casting, and we casted 6 actors. One of them, the wonderful Diana Brown, who is right there, was one of the originals. And from that point on, for about 8 years, we created a lot of different formats and games using technology and improv. I had a space in San Francisco. We moved to LA. And when we got to LA around 2007, we decided to work on a cross city to city improv show using Skype as a base to kind of allow us to improv with each other. And that's where these wonderful people right below me, Some Assembly Required, came in. So Misa, John, and Brandon, and a few other, Brandon and Jamie, I was literally reading off the screen.
I forgot to change the name to just the me part.
Yeah, the me. So we
roll with
the
it. It's improv. You're Brandon now.
We had several other actors, and we also had several, I mean, over the course of all this, we probably worked through 30 to 40 different actors. We also had different directors come in, including Patrick Bristow from the Groundlings. And the LASF show was really unique. I think we were the first show ever to do an internet show between 2 cities, incorporating each city. So we had 2 audiences and 2 casts. After, like I said, about 8 years of playing with that, we kind of went our own way. John Baumgartner and I worked on a game show called I Won. And
I win.
Thank you, John. Thank God.
Putting an I in front of something made it seem really like.
Yeah, we thought we were very cool and techie.
Small I, large W. You get it.
And so when the pandemic, so we played with that, and then we kind of went our own ways. Then when the pandemic hit, and everybody was going online, there was like, oh my God, this is exactly what we were kind of going for with Tilted Frame, and now there's a market. So I started with the initial call to the original San Francisco group, including Diana. And I also reached out to John, and we just kind of started the conversation. John already was playing and still in touch with Misa and Jamie. And so we got the 4 kind of original members from back when together. And we started, it was in May, was that it, guys? Was it May we decided?
I think so.
And we rehearsed 1 day a week, and we just brought our ideas. And I was basically running the tech. And then about a month, 2 months ago, I realized for this to grow, I needed more tech help, because Tilted Frame was always heavy on tech. I had been working with Miles, who's been doing a lot of great directing internet-wise, and had just a great eye for this and kind of coming up with ideas. And David and I, who've known each other for years, is a stage manager at the Magic Castle. And he was talking too about, like, I'd like to pivot. How do I do this? And David also brought a lot of design work, and we realized we could play more with design. So the whole team, everybody you see on screen now, started working together again about 2 months ago. And then we just started doing shows. So to your point of, like, you know, the plug of when we do, and we do our shows Tuesday at 6 p.m. every Tuesday. And we still are working the show. I mean, we have pickup rehearsals, we're developing new pieces. And the concept of Tilted Frame was really, let's play with this stuff and not only use it as comedy, but we see it as a way for directors, say like Miles, to kind of play and see what's going on. Like, oh, I could use a camera like that, or I could use the chat room like that, and develop actual theater pieces from some of the play that we're doing. Because with improv, as you know, you can do anything. So we're not bound by having to follow the words of a script. And we've already got some people interested in seeing what we're doing for ideas. And I think a lot of it, I mean, we're doing it because it's fun. And there's a lot of kind of like, creative juices going on here with everything. So does that do it, guys? Did I kind of hit it?
I think so.
All right, let's do this. Yeah.
I love that. One of the things we've been watching this, we've watched 2 episodes, the Friends and Family shows. Absolutely loved it. Both times we saw it. We haven't reviewed it because we were there as friends and family, and we do not review when we are friends and family. But one of the things we love about it, and why I say this every time we do an interview, we're writing a book about digital theater, but your show was the reason we're not going past this year, because if you researched it, people like you guys were doing digital theater before it became the thing of 2020. And so you guys are like the truest of true pioneers. And so how does it feel to know that you were doing something, as the hipsters say, before it was cool, and now that is cool, you're like, no, let's show you how it's done.
May I?
Yes, you may.
Yeah. Okay. So we, it was part of when Matt connected up our group in Los Angeles with the group from San Francisco. That was the first time that we started to see some of it. And what was really cool is we saw so much of the potential of how to utilize the technology to be able to, in real time, connect 2 theaters in 2 completely different cities. And we did, Los Angeles and San Francisco, but for all intents and purposes, that could have been Los Angeles and Moscow. That could have been Los Angeles and Beijing, and so it kind of like, we felt like we were planting the seed of something that really had some great potential, but the technology and the internet speed was not there. It was one of these things where we would do a show, and especially because we ran rehearsals together, 2 theaters in 2 different cities, connecting up. So much was going on with the, technology elements breaking down and things like that. And we were doing it absolutely on a shoestring budget, because we didn't have any big sponsorships. By the way, sponsors, please, by all means, help us get where our dreams want it to be. We had all sorts of great ideas that weren't fully able to come together because of it. But there were still moments, even during the shows, where you would have this sense of like 2 audiences in 2 completely different cities and two set of improv troupes working together for the same goal. And there were moments where you would see the genius coming together and you could see the future coming together, but it was always difficult because of the technological limitations. And then fast forward to now, and suddenly we're coming back. Part of the reason why Matt and it was so funny when Matt called me up and said, "Hey, John, what have you been up to?" It was really exciting because I had already seen so many of the things that we were working on 10 years ago start being used on the Ellen DeGeneres show, start being used on, what was the one that we were watching, Matt?
We both saw, that's what was weird. We both were watching Good Morning America. Something?
Yeah, I forget what it was. It was, but we were both. No, it was the Kelly Clarkson show.
It was Kelly Clarkson.
Not that I'm not a fan, but I just don't watch it a lot. But it just happened that serendipitously, Matt and I were watching the exact same segment randomly, where they did a game that we felt we had invented, where it was basically doing a scavenger hunt in your own home with a celebrity. And we had this concept for our game show, our online game show. I'm sure other people thought the thought, but it was sort of like all of these things sort of came together and made us feel like there's a lot going on here and a lot of potential to be tapped.
Love that. Anybody else? What were your thoughts kind of transitioning from what you had been doing 10 years ago to what you're doing now?
I'll say what we were doing So the way we would do it 10 years ago, we had a projector screen in each theater. So we would be performing on stage with essentially a giant like head or whatever, because it would be an entire projection screen of a person in our theater with us next to it, performing with it. So what was really fun for me one, I love all these people. So it was really fun for me to have a reason to hang out with them all the time right now. But also just Misa and John and I did improv together in a troupe for a long time in LA for 10 plus years. So we have a lot of games that we played on the stage. And what was really fun for me was the creativity of going through our lists of games that we've played, you know, that we felt like we had a lot of interesting takes on for a theater, but would not work this way. But how can it work this way? And finding, you know, tweaks to these games of like, oh, wait, this could be really cool. This could be really cool. And then trying it during this process. Part of what took us so long to start doing shows, we were trying things on Zoom, trying things on StreamYard, trying things on Skype. We tried on several different streaming platforms and they all offer different features. So like, how can we lock the boxes in place so we know where to look? How can we, you know, every streaming service has such a different way of doing it that make or break the games we wanted to try to play. So there was a ton of creative trial and error just to get to a place where it was like, all right, this is a cool set of things that we can do in this particular platform. And now we're ready to show people. And we're going to keep doing that to create, you know, new games or tweak our old games in new creative, innovative ways. And that's really fun. And that's something you usually get to do in a theater setting. So.
I love that. Yeah. For the people, for all you guys, I wanna ask mostly the actors, but I'm going to ask everybody. What's your favorite game, and what are you looking forward to with Tilted Frame?
Oh, what's our favorite Tilted Frame game?
Yes.
Yeah. And what are you looking forward to?
In the future for Tilted Frame?
I can answer
Amy.
The first part for sure. My favorite part is doing the movie clip. That's my favorite part. I love it. It's silly. We get to, I don't know, that's actually the hardest transition also for me, maybe for you too, John, because we have to change our, you know, hair, makeup, props, costume, whatever, from the party scene into whatever the movie scene is going to be. We have to change our background to whatever David sent us that he, you know, made at the start of the show for our backgrounds. And while we're doing that, we have to be listening to the setup of the movie that Misa's doing right then. So we don't know what the title.
We don't even know what the scene's going to be.
Yeah. We don't know what the title is or what the scene and she's giving those details. So we have to hear what she says. So we're using hair, makeup, hats, props, whatever, changing our backgrounds, grabbing whatever things we might need for this and listening to what is going on. And it's actually quite difficult to do that. But once it comes up, doing that ridiculous scene is my favorite part of the show. The second part is harder for me to answer because I'm not sure. But I guess I'm excited to just see what other things we come up with, because we've come up with tweaks of things that we've done maybe a million times before, but it feels completely new when you have to do it in this format. So I guess what I'm excited about is you know, what else we come up with. The creativity of that is really fun.
Who's next?
I'll go next.
Okay, Diana.
I absolutely love Red Carpet. I love the scene that they put together, and it's so much fun setting them up for that. I have such a great time coming up with their names as their actor characters, and I love that we're all in the scene, right? It's one of the few times that we're all working together in a scene, and I love that ensemble feeling. And recently, we've been adding a relationship between my character and Misa's character, and that just makes it so much richer and more fun, because isn't it always about relationship? It doesn't matter what you're doing. What really matters is the relationship happening between the people. And it is the one scene where I feel like everybody, not just the four actors, but also the host that's gotten this information for us, the technology that's putting this together. Again, it's where Dave is getting that background, splicing it in half, and getting it to the actors on the fly. Miles is making sure that we're all in the right place. And so it's where the entire show culminates and is working together like a giant machine. And that makes me really happy. Oh, and looking forward. I want to share that all three, Jamie, John, and Misa have worked together for years, and they are incredibly bonded. And I had the privilege of working with them in San Francisco while they were in LA. But coming together and working, now we're LA, New York, San Francisco, we're coming from all over these places. And despite the fact they were so bonded, they have welcomed me and made me feel so much a part of their ensemble. So I look forward to deepening those bonds and building.
Diana, we don't do that for everybody. We're really not nice people. It's only
there was a ritual.
Only consummate professionals get that kind of treatment from us. So give yourself a pat on the back.
No, I'm kidding. No, they have made me feel so welcome, and it's a privilege to be part of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we all continue to create together. Thank you.
Misa?
Oh, okay.
Whichever direction you are on Zoom, which doesn't let you decide.
I would have to say my favorite game to watch is the red carpet, especially like Jamie and John's scene. My favorite game to play is the Why Were You Late? Because it's a guessing game, which are my favorite. And just like having that kind of breakup is something different where we have one character that is completely miming, and just trying to kind of justify what you're seeing and still have it be, comprehensible and not just gibberish of words. And also I really love that, the background, like the set, as you would say, of like just that office and having that come together. We're like looking over the cubicle. I think that's really, really cool. So I would say that's my favorite to play. And for the future, I look forward to seeing, as technology advances it so quickly, like seeing what else comes up and what we can do and what new games we can add and how we can take this into different directions as far as like, and could we do like when we get back into the theater, can we do, something with that, but still have it like in this format? So just new things. So I'm excited about that. And also deepening my bond with Diana.
Yes. Oh, okay. Should I go?
Yeah.
I think okay, so my favorite game, because I like split decisions, and so my favorite game, I'm gonna agree with Misa, mainly because I get to see two extremely stressed out cast members, and I just have to sit there and just come up with a pun. So basically what happens in that game is Jamie, and that's one of those games that we worked on that really worked. We made the discovery of how well pantomime works in this environment and how difficult it is to have a scene with more than two people talking at once. You're cutting each other out constantly. It's very complicated. So we discovered the pantomime, where there's pretty much just one person talking, is better from a technological standpoint. Misa is awesome because she is so innocent and honest with her responses that we're just all there on the page with her. So every mistake that she makes is a beautiful gift, and it's hilarious because we're all there saying, "Oh, I can see why she saw that. That's hilarious." Jamie is breaking a sweat out there, doing all of these different things, trying to use her hands to describe it, occasionally grabbing a prop if it comes in handy. That's all on the fly. And so I just get to sit there and watch them, and then know if Misa's really, really, really floundering, I can drop a little breadcrumb for her to be able to get to the answer. So that one's a lot of fun. I hope it's fun for the audience too. Now, as far as the future goes, it's really, these are the 4 games that we got to this point in the production. And part of it was we started in May. We've been workshopping this in all sorts of different ways. And on some level, we kind of just were like, well, at least I was like, let's put something up. Like, let's figure out, we're not, it's better to have 4 good games. I mean, I think we're aiming for maybe 5. We might want to stretch the show. That's to be discussed a little bit, but 4 solid games that we can actually bring out to people while still working on some of our other, then don't let the good be the enemy of the perfect. Or wait, no, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good is the saying, right? That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of where we're at, but we've got the ingredients for 10 or 20 other games that are ready to be shifted and brought into position from all of our experiences from working in improv and in theater before, and trying to find ways creatively to bring all of those ingredients together to make something that nobody's ever tasted before. So I'm excited about that. And one of the big things I'm excited about is that we are also planning eventually on building it in a way that we can have a celebrity improviser artist join us. If we kind of set up the structure in a way and have them hopefully not have to deal with nearly as much of the technology stuff as we do, if we put together games where they can just kind of come in and do their thing in front of a camera as part of our scene, we're really looking forward to spreading out and bringing other people into the show.
That would be great.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
I would love to see that. I would love to see you guys have more audience involvement, have people come into the show. It'll be a lot of fun. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to refocus because I want to do the take 5, but I also want to give you guys a chance to like promo the show one last time. So do you want to go into the take 5, or does everybody want to like say a little like promo about how awesome the show is real quick?
What do you guys want to do?
I mean, I'll say what my favorite part of the show is and what I'm most excited about.
I'll do that too. Yeah.
Perfect.
And actually,
No, we'll
I'll break the first part up into 2 different answers. I'll break it up into what I'm most proud of and then my favorite game. I am not a stage manager, and like that's not what I normally do. I'm an actor and then maybe a director. But I'm really, really, really proud of my cue sheet that I did for this. It's all color coordinated. It's like I'm really happy with it. And but my favorite game actually is probably Decisions, the one where the big head little body where we, the arms game. Mostly because that game for all of us, I think, took the most amount of work, and I think it really shines of what we've been doing. It might not have the most elaborate background or anything like that, but like even the background is extremely important. Like in fact, there it is. Wait, there's its background right there.
It is, yeah.
So yeah, I think that's my favorite game. And then what I'm most looking forward to is actually testing out the cue sheet, because like John was saying, we're probably gonna try and bring in other actors, or at least switch which actor is playing which role, and that's going to be a major test on the hard work I did on this little piece of paper.
David?
Yeah. I guess my favorite part to design was red carpet. Just because there's so many different elements to it. I mean, but my favorite game kind of changes depending on which game we're doing. Because as a designer, I kind of need to fall in love with exactly what's going on right here and now. And so because I might need to adjust things or get ideas for other stuff. And that kind of spills into what I'm excited about. I'm excited about, trying out new games that we might, that are kind of on the horizon. And I'm excited to see what this show will be like once theaters do open up again. And why would we bother going to a theater? Because this is so great the way it is right now. I don't care if there's theaters open up. Let's keep doing this because this is great. That's what
we need to reach out to the hermits in society and be like, come on, stay with us, guys. Stay in your living room and join us.
Exactly. How else are we going to get people in Tokyo to see this? So that's what I'm excited about. See where this is going to be in 6 months. So, yeah.
I love that. Matt, I think you're the last one.
Oh, I mean, it's tough for me to say. They're all my children. I love them all. No, I've got to say what I love from a process point of view. I really like, I do enjoy Red Carpet. It like ounce for ounce, I love watching it. Why Were You Late? What I really enjoyed about that is it came in late. It was a game we found on the internet that we were looking at another guessing game. And like John said, we realized Pantomime was really strong with this. And this other game that we found was similar, but included Pantomime. So we're like, that's great. So we found this game based off the knowledge that we were learning tech-wise. And then it was during one of the techs with Dave Miles and myself that we kind of discovered, I think Dave was the first one to kind of said, oh, because he had the graphic mind, I can see breaking down these blocks and expending it. And then I kind of chimed in with, well, we can do the banner. Like it was a real team effort to kind of come up with this graphic. And I remember at that point, I was like, this is exactly what this is all about. This was like getting creative people in the room, looking at the technology, having a problem and solving it. And when we came back in to rehearsal with the actors, you just saw, like we were so excited because there were so many parts and they had to do things and Miles had to put up the background. And when they all came up, you just saw them, everyone looked like, wow, this is really, this is not your typical Zoom improv. And I think at that moment, we kind of broke out and kind of saw what made us unique. And it was the element of like, 4 improvers who are very familiar with each other, trust each other, have worked with technology. You know, we had several years of working with this and we're able to play and trust each other. And 3 tech people who are willing to play with ideas. And that magic really, really happened. And then moving on to the future, I would say, echoing what everyone said, there's so much more. We scratched the surface. We really, you know, get it now, or as much, you know, whatever percentage more now than we did when we started it. And I'm looking forward to sharing it with more people. And I do, at the back of my brain is also, yeah, this is fun, but it would be cool to get people from regional theater or playwrights to come watch this show and be like, oh boy, that big head, little body, the decisions with the 2 screens, I could write a play using that in mind. Or a director could look at The Office, Why Were You Late, and go, oh, that's a different way for me to incorporate a background scene instead of just using green screens and all that. So I think that creative component and sharing that and working with other artists is really exciting to me. That, and then as soon as Netflix calls for our TV special, that wouldn't be bad either. But it's really like echoing what Jamie said too. I mean, it's been fun. They're a really wonderful group. And we're really pushing things here. So it's been great.
Hey guys, if you like what we just did, there's going to be plenty more coming up. Please like, comment, subscribe. Our Venmo is in the description. Please support us if you can. Our cats need the money.